is the body's largest organ. It serves as a vital barrier protecting internal structures from external threats like pathogens and UV rays. It regulates temperature, synthesizes vitamin D, and provides sensory feedback. Healthy skin supports overall well being, highlighting its critical role in both physiological function and personal appearance. Skin is often not given enough importance in terms of overall healthcare. While many focus on the aesthetic appearance, the skin's health and its function as a protective barrier are sometimes overlooked. So I have with me Spela Novak. She is the president of the Society of Atopic Dermatitis, and their mission is to ensure that people understand this affliction and how um, they can help themselves and the family members as well. Welcome to the podcast, Spela.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Spela, could you tell us what the common symptoms of atopic dermatitis are and how does it affect the skin?
Sure. So, like you said, first people think of the aesthetic view. So it is pretty obvious. People are usually scared of it because they feel like it's contagious. So, they're not sure how to react, what to do. They act accordingly, they stay away or they are frightened and all of that. So the biggest symptom is not the thing that you see, but it's the itching part. So it itches that much that children or people with atopic dermatitis don't sleep maybe at all, and they do more damage to the skin. And this is like a continuous circle of just not sleeping and itching and destroying what's left, if we say it like that. But in the sense of like diagnosis, so atopic dermatitis actually means that the barrier, so skin barrier, is not doing what it should. So it's not, keeping us safe from the outside, different things, like you said, pathogens and all of that. And it's not keeping water inside. So the water goes out, and that's why the skin is super dry and hence the itching and all of that.
Okay, so isn't there a simple solution like just making sure that there's enough hydration?
Yeah, we wish. So the hydration, both like drinking a lot of water and obviously using ointments and creams, that's very, very, very important. But that's not all of it, because it's not like a situation that just exists. There are a lot of triggers inside and out that are making our symptoms worse. So we have to identify these symptoms, which can be really, really hard because it's not like, you know, I meet the symptom. This can be maybe food or some pollen or some animals or some different materials or some of that. So it's not necessary that when you come in contact that it's immediately worse. It can get worse like in a day or two. And you don't know if it's a day or two, maybe three. So you have to first find your triggers, then avoid them if you can. Some of them are
Okay.
easily avoid, like maybe a diet. Some of them are not, like you cannot completely avoid, pollen in nature and the things around
True.
you. So that depends on which are your triggers. That's the first step. So find the triggers, avoid them as much as you can. Then we have the ointments and different skin regimens, and this is like from simple cream to, I don't know, maybe doing baths or wrapping up your
So,
arms or legs and all of that. But it's not just that the skin is not doing the job, to say it like that, but it also, there come infections, there come different situations. It's not just dry skin, it can be thick, it can have some fluids oozing out, it can have actually different types of atopic dermatitis, and they require different approaches. So it's a very unpredictable thing that's alive. These triggers change. The cream that is okay for you changes. Diets change. All of it is like, it's not like you're
very unique.
If you would be allergic, you're allergic to something, and that's it. It's not that simple, unfortunately.
Okay. And is there a genetic component also to this?
Yes. So they say in 99 and something percent, this is genetically predisposed. It's actually atopic dermatitis is an atopic disease. So it's connected to atopic diseases, others also, which are also asthma, allergies, especially to food, and allergic rhinitis. So if they ask you, like, does someone have, do your parents have this kind of diseases? So that makes it easier to identify. There are some cases where there is no like connection, no obvious, no one has it, but that just means it maybe went, like how genes work, maybe silently through some generations, and then we are more receptive to it. Yeah.
Okay. So, what are the numbers like? I mean, the fact that you have started a non-profit to address this issue says something about the numbers.
Yeah, so definitely the numbers are rising if we look at it worldwide. So official number, I think from last year, like worldwide, was 320 million people who go to the doctor and are diagnosed with atopic dermatitis, but there's a lot of those who do not for different reasons. Depends on the country where you live or situations. So I think there's a lot more. So my own reason for founding an association was I have 4 children, and the younger two both have all the atopic diseases, so atopic dermatitis, allergies, asthma. And really early on, I kind of needed someone who would understand. I have a super supportive family, but we do not have. My father had asthma. That's it, right? So, and they were super supportive, but they didn't know how to deal. What is this now? I mean, it's something that completely turns your world upside down. So we searched for some support for something, and in Slovenia there was nothing. So we decided to found a foundation, and here we are. Yeah.
Okay. And do you think this is also, it might be a flu food allergy, right? So all these genetically modified foods, do you think that could be a reason that does research point towards that?
Yeah, so definitely like genetically looking at, if you would take a look at all of us like 100 years ago, genetically, there would be the same amount of people having atopic diseases, but the symptoms are coming out more because the triggers are present more. And the triggers, one of the main one would be the quality of food, which is
Food.
food, and then air quality, and then stress, and then all of the things that we add, like maybe to detergents, and we wanted everything to smell wonderfully, and I don't know what, and all of these things are
Yeah.
actually
Yes.
triggers, and now we're going back to just zero and nothing, and the less the better, and obviously healthy stuff. So I like to say atopic dermatitis kind of forces you into optimal way of life. So zero stress, zero bad stuff, zero unhealthy food, zero, some of the things. So
But that's so
you
difficult.
actually
Getting
have to,
all those zeros is very difficult.
yeah, yeah. It's firstly, it's very expensive. So, I mean, a lot of things have changed. Like my oldest topic is 9. So when we started with this 9 years ago, there was almost nothing food-wise to have some options. And now you have like a lot of, different diet options and all of that. But other than that, what do we do about our air pollution, or how do you avoid traffic, or how do you live stress-free? So I think that kids meditation is something that's a thing, because they have to learn how to deal with stress more than maybe children who do not have these issues. So yeah, it's
No,
definitely.
but let's take a break to understand what Chezuba is. Everyone at some point ponders on how this beautiful life can be made more meaningful. Maybe you're a leader trying to enhance your employees' experience at your organization. Or you already work for the community and seek volunteers with state of the art skills to strengthen your nonprofit. Whatever your situation, know that you can make a difference. Chezuba began with this very vision, a vision to facilitate every skill and every passion in the world in meeting a social need. Corporate volunteering has several benefits for both businesses and organizations. In parallel, experienced and enthusiastic volunteers join NGO workers, enabling them to serve the community more effectively. Chezuba offers everyone looking to add purpose and meaning to their lives a chance to connect or volunteer virtually with non-profit organizations from over 100 countries around the world. Visit www.chezuba.net and explore opportunities to find meaning. Chezuba, your platform to do good. And now, back with our guest. It's difficult enough for an adult to meditate. I mean, expecting that from a child is really asking for a lot. So, the idea of you starting this nonprofit and creating awareness about it, tell us what is the objective? You want to create awareness, yes. Do you also connect with a network of people who are suffering with atopic dermatitis? And
Yeah,
do you
absolutely.
also have doctors and the concerned people?
So the first main cause for the association was actually to find people like us, right? So people
Right.
in this situation, other patients. So that was the first. So we did, and we still do support groups every month. So we do connect with patients, and everything we do is for the patients. And then awareness kind of comes, hand in hand with that, because to find patients, you have to speak about it. And obviously,
True.
you talk to people who are patients and to everyone else. And if you want to help patients, you have to work with doctors. So it's kind of inevitable. So we do,
Yes.
we do different projects or events, or we have a consultations with doctors. So we kind of do the whole. We see what are the things that people ask us more about, and then we try to give it to them with some kind of event or project or something like that.
Okay. And you have a worldwide network of doctors, or is it more local?
So my association in Slovenia is Slovenian, and we work with local ones. Um, we do know and work because of our involvement with like global associations like Global Skin or GAP. We do know other doctors, but it's like every country is a little bit different as far as treatments goes and availability. So we see that it's getting like a specific and really good advice to what can a patient actually do in our country is best from our doctor, because they know the system and they know the
Right.
drugs
There's
that we
that
have.
trust
So
factor
yeah,
also.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
True. So, there are a number of natural remedies that are available in certain cultures. Like I'm speaking from India, and I do know that there are so many medicines that are available botanically. Have you explored that too?
So definitely we tried everything, and when I say everything, I mean everything, like from alternatives, that medicine, the acupuncture, Chinese medicine, I don't know, everything. Also more of a holistic and natural approach, but atopic dermatitis does not go well with nature, unfortunately, or with flowers and with all of that, because the usual stuff that I would put on my child that does not have these diseases are so obvious, like chamomile or something like that, and this just doesn't work with the
It
topic. It's
doesn't.
a whole new, yeah, so very hard. And also like flowers, even from pollen or like a cream, it's very, very hard to coincide. So unfortunately, the whole nature part of this it does not go well,
Is not working.
unfortunately. Yeah,
So,
we would like
during
it
the year,
too, but no. Yeah.
well, maybe something might come up. You never know. So, Spela, do you also have workshops or seminars? Do you organize events annually uh, to make sure that
Yes,
everybody is on the
definitely.
same page? Yes. So, please tell us about it.
So we obviously we do world days, like Atopic Eczema World Day, which is in the 14th of September. We usually align with the world's initiative on that day so that we are all in sync to get a bigger impact and, just to stay connected. We have like an event that we had 10 of them in the last 6 years. It's called Atopic Expo, which brings like doctors and um, pharma industry and providers of
Mm.
different products together so that you have it all in a day and in one place so that people can come and join and ask questions if it's a doctor or it's some company of some cream or whatever. So this is something that we're doing quite frequently. I mean, one or two a year we do because of we just need to do the frequency because people are coming in new and new and new. So we do it kind of all the time. So we do
Right.
support groups every month. Like I said, we do make tools for people. For example, we made a topic dictionary. It's actually a dictionary that explains medical terms. Because when you
Okay.
get like a paper from your doctor, you cannot understand half of it because it's different stuff
Right.
writing. Yeah, right. So we gathered all these different things from our members and we went through it and we just wrote it down and we gave it to doctors to explain it like you said before in layman
Simple.
terms, just like yeah,
Yes.
for us patients, for simple people. So for now we have like atopic diseases included, so like I mentioned, atopic dermatitis and asthma allergies terms, but we will make it a little bit wider probably because there's a lot of overlap with gastro stuff or maybe something else. But this is something that's really we got a good response because you really don't know what you're reading, and it's so we do projects like that. We see what people need, and then we try to bring it to them
That's
in a way. Yeah.
wonderful. I think you are being a big, big help to everybody out there. Sometimes it can get pretty unnerving, and sometimes it can get pretty upsetting that something that is persistent for such a long time uh, can be so debilitating. So if you are supporting them and telling them, okay, it's okay, this is what happens, and this is what you can do about it, that definitely helps. And last question here, Spela, if you could tell us how can anybody who's watching or listening to this help out with your organization?
So that's a really good question, and it's a really maybe simple answer, but it's an important one. So everything I have to start, to paint a picture. Everything we do for patients, and we do it for free for them. And in order to do it for free, we need support from pharma companies or different companies and all of that, like all of us do. We know that. But they usually ask for numbers. So how many members do you have? How many followers do you have? How big is your reach? So anyone or everyone who engages in, maybe it's just a like on social media, maybe it's a comment, it seems small and it takes like 3 seconds. But for us on the other side, it makes it actually easier for us to get projects through, to get, bigger reach. Obviously, we want you to engage so that people know and get information and, to spread the word because we want to help. And that's the main priority for us, just to reach as many people so that we can help them. But in order for us to stay free for patients and to do everything we want to do, these are kind of important things, and it's really really simple. So just click on it, or go to the page for 10 seconds or whatever you can do just to raise that number from wherever you are. That's huge, like long term. And I don't think people really understand that part, because sometimes they're like, just what can I do? And I don't understand, going to some meeting or some event can be hard for someone, especially if they're in the bad situation at the moment. But just like, do that small thing of your, and that would make a huge thing for us to make things happen. So yeah, that would be it.
Right. So, well, we look forward to that contribution from people who are listening to this. If you could share your social media handles here, Spela, that would be nice.
So I know it's a little bit hard because we're Slovenians. So the association in Slovenia is called Društvo Atopijski Dermatitis, but actually it's just Društvo AD. So DRUSTVOAD.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
There you go. So thank you so much for talking to us. Thank you so much for telling us about atopic dermatitis and letting people who are afflicted with this particular situation know that they are not alone, that there is support and there is hope as well.
definitely. Yeah, it's really complex, and I thank you for having us and talking about it because there's a lot of people who still think it's not a big deal, but know that the life they live is a big deal. Yeah. So thank you.